Hello and welcome to the Thrice Champions podcast, episode 2 of the 2018-19 season, as I like to put it, Premier podcast for a Premier League town. We're going to get that through all of the rest of the season. It's a new venue, there's new voices on it. I'm Marah, host. Joining me as always is the fashionista himself, Stephen Downs. And I'm going to let the other two guests introduce themselves if you haven't heard them before. We've got...
I'm Paul Cuffe from the WM podcast and HTSA.
Alasdair, also from WM podcast and HTSA treasurer.
There we go, new voices, and we're in the Sportsman this evening. Lovely venue. There was a Scotch egg with my name on it, but I put some weight on recently, so I've turned it down. Gentlemen, taking on from what you used to do, what are you drinking, mate?
Amstel.
I know you're in a real ale pub and you're drinking Amstel.
Yeah, but I've always had Amstel. I mean, it reminds me of a 1990 Dutch FA Cup tie. No, Dutch Cup tie, sorry.
It's a sponsored Champions League as well.
Yeah.
I've gone with a pint of the Fun Sponge. It tastes very nice.
Doesn't look like a Victoria sponge.
No, it doesn't, but it tastes beautiful. It's pineapple.
Does it taste fun though?
It does taste fun. And it'd be really fun to drink as a pre-match drink at the Sportsman before Saturday. There we go.
Get the advert out
There we get the advert. There we are, using their room for free. Gentlemen, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking Boatmaker, so if you want a normal ale, then drink that.
I have to say I'm drinking the same as Al, Boltmaker as well.
Nothing wrong with Timothy Taylor's. I just can't wait till our stadium's called the Timothy Taylor Stadium. None of this rubbish with John Smith.
Yes.
Anyway, on the agenda this evening we've got Town against City, the aftermath of that. We've got our Twitter corner, which has kind of been feisty today. There's a lot of different opinions. We asked, the question was, should David Wagner change his tactics against the top 6 side? We'll bring that to you later. Then we're looking ahead to Cardiff. But we'll start firstly with City against Town. We didn't expect to win. The financial gulf is exponential. 6-1, I think actually flattered Town because it was a side that never really got out of second gear.
No, well, unfortunately, I didn't get to watch the game and I didn't go, but I watched the highlights and I wasn't.
Were you rugby league?
Yeah, I was rugby leaguing.
You're doing your job. That's
I was doing my job. I was getting paid to work. And I mean, I watched the highlights. From the highlights, it just looked like an absolute. I don't want to say pathetic performance, but it had no bite, it had no challenge. We didn't really create anything apart from Stankovic's goal from Billings, League 2 style long throw.
Very Nathan Clark-esque, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Back in the days, long throw into the box, booby flick on, and then Pavel Abbott's there. But this time it's Steve Moon here.
and Stankovic.
Oh yeah, good goal.
Good goal. Yeah, just a disappointing display, and I think it just shows that how David Wagner's tactics, which we'll come on to discuss, how he's been scarred for life by that Spurs home game of last season, really.
Yeah, last September. Any of you two actually go to game?
Yeah, I went.
How was the atmosphere?
The atmosphere was alright at the beginning. Obviously, like after goal 2 and goal 3, it's sort of, people started sitting down a bit. But yeah, it was alright. I think the City fans next to us sort of enjoying trying to wind up Town fans the more it went in.
10-1 references in there.
Yeah, no, it was a bit like what Stephen was saying. What was disappointing was we didn't make it difficult for them. I mean, after 10 seconds, Mounier hooked the ball onto her own bar, and then so everyone was sort of looking at each other. So here we go. This is it now. This is the next 90 minutes of that. But yeah, there's so many sort of sloppy mistakes, and I think Hamer started off quite well for the first 10 minutes. He made a really good save from Aguero, and he looked all right. And then he just sort of I don't know what he was doing for the long ball, but I can't remember it. I think it was Verve defending.
It was Schindler, I think.
It was Schindler, but Schindler was doing all right, but he was sort of just trying to shepherd Aguero away. But Hamer, for some reason, only himself will know, didn't peg it back to his line. He just sort of stayed behind Schindler and were just completely ineffective.
We went on about this last week, and we had a 3-1 vote for Lozell over Hamer. And I need to ask you, mate, have you finally come round to everyone else's way of thinking? And I must say, we only picked Lersel because of his distribution, but do you think it's time for a change now?
No, I'm sticking with Ben Hamer.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I think unfortunately too many mistakes were made by him. Listen, he's a good goalkeeper. Really glad that he's at the club and to be a good backup. But yeah, it's time to stick the Losel back in goal. I think.
I think he went with him, as I understand it, because Lossell came back late for pre-season. He was at the World Cup.
Him had a really good pre. I watched the game from the tour, and he made some outstanding saves. He made some really good saves on Sunday as well. It's just I feel for him because I've been a goalkeeper before. Nowhere near that ability. Not a very good goalkeeper, but everyone makes a mistake. It just happened that his was blatantly obvious, and he's got a keeper behind him that's an international, so he's going to be chomping at the bit.
Yeah, his distribution isn't great either, to be honest.
No,
he just needs to.
It's never going to be. I mean, he played for 3-4 seasons under Chris Powell, where you don't make a pass at 5 yards, either. More like a long ball at 50 yards.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Looking for Jan Kermigan up front.
Good player, Jan.
He was big Jan, the penalty taker. But I think his distribution was poor. He made some good saves. I mean, the shots that City did have at him, weren't poor. To be fair, like the free kick was a good one. To follow the wall, I'd say could have jumped. I'm a big favourite of setting up your wall to jump and then having the guy lying on the floor just in case they do shoot there. But I mean, the free kick was probably I think that what Wagner said, that was like the one goal that it wasn't Town just gifting it to him. But yeah, disappointing that Town, the way that we sort of defended, and also at the beginning I think Wagner said he changed the formation quite close to kick-off when he saw the Man City's team sheet and how they were setting up, and they changed formation to match them like for like, and you could tell that the players were confused about what were they doing for the first 10 minutes, because they had two people marking Man City playing the corner, and then you had a man completely free just ready to whip a ball in, and we were just inviting so much pressure on ourselves, and there seemed to be a lot of confusion between the Town players about who was meant to be doing what, and it was not sort of seamless sort of swapping men when you're marking. They had to get used to that quite quickly, and they looked alright until Aguero got in behind, to be honest. But yeah, it was just disappointing that we didn't make it very difficult for them.
Did you go? Or were you on TV watching?
No, I was actually kitchen shopping.
To
be honest with you,
I think that might have been a good waste of your time, because I was in a pub drinking. I was like, well, I'm going to drown my sorrows now.
Well, the size of my wallet seems like it's shrunk. I've not even bought the kitchen yet. But from what I've seen from the game, it seems very much like Wagner's picking games to win, and he clearly is seeing these first two fixtures of the season as ones we've got no chance in. So he's made, kind of given it a go to some degree by changing the tactics a little bit, but there's no expectation of victory or even a point. It's if we can get it, but otherwise we'll move on and go for the next game.
In fairness though, if we do attack, say, Man City, do try and go toe to toe with them, aren't we just going to lose 6-1 now?
Yeah, but I'd rather do that than sitting back and just
but then you actually have a chance if you do sort of try and sit deep, and then maybe it only counts.
But we didn't have a chance.
We had a few.
I think let's be quite fair. Last season, Town were the only team to go into the Etihad and get a clean sheet.
Yeah.
And they scored against them. And I think that's a massive positive. It's great to see John Stankovic back. He's had a year out. With Town got back into the Slovenia under-21 team in the Championship. Got injured. He's classy. I know a lot of Town fans when he first came in the team thought, nah, this guy's not good enough. But Chris Schindler talked about it when he came to the Championship. You need to put a lot of muscle. It's more physical. He's a classy player. He might just lack a bit of pace or something. But again, he did all right. He was playing out of position as well. So that's a massive positive. But again, set piece. I know we said it's very League One-esque, but it worked.
It worked, yeah.
And we kind of saw with Gareth Southgate in the summer. He got England playing
with the love train.
The love train, and it worked all the time. And that's the one thing for me that can work this season. If Town get the set pieces right, Phil Billing with his big arm. I mean, he's a big lad. You'd rather have him in the box, but it's a big arm. It's bigger than Nathan Clark's ever was. Great throw into the box. Mooney, he's imperious in the air. And it's a great finish, so at least you've spent your money. You're not coming home thoroughly disappointed.
Yeah, I suppose. I had an interesting.
I'm trying to gloss over it here.
Thank you. I had an interesting day anyway. I got to see Strange Ways Prison thanks to a miscommunication about what pub people were meeting in. I was told Seven Sisters instead of the Seven Stars pub. So I'd avoid the area of Strange Ways in Manchester.
Is it not good round the prison?
No, it's not actually. It's
a big classy area.
Full of sort of fake designer clothes shops with bodyguards outside each one. Like blacked out window Mercedes sort of driving past with people in. Yeah, but, yeah.
It's a shame it was a Sunday game, really, because that'd have been good on a Saturday evening. Yeah. At least Town getting battered, you can go out and get truly battered yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I feel better about it, wouldn't I?
The Manchester equivalent of their gangs, is that what it was?
Yeah, it was that sort of area. Yeah. But thankfully an Irishman came down and he sort of stoned off his face and sort of walked us to Manchester Victoria.
Oh, that was nice.
Because it was actually a different way from what the signpost showed. I don't know if they've changed what direction the signposts are facing, but it was not the right way. Anyway, that was before the game.
What happened after?
Luckily, we were able to queue for the tram, and But I think you're talking about Phil Billing. Aside from his throw, he was a weak link. It really was very, very poor. 50-50 challenges. He was shying away from them.
Because in the Chelsea game,
he just looked out of his. He looked a bit out of his depth. To be honest.
Well, there's an opportunity for him to be without Aaron Moy. Congratulations to him on his birthday as well, and congratulations to the club, because a lot of people would not do that in this day and age. I hate to hark back on England, but to see Delph, despite him being a Leeds fan. Well, I'm not sure if he was. If he might be a Bradford fan, he's again one of our rivals. To allow him to go back and have his kid and miss a game, but to miss a key game for a team that will be scrapping for survival, that shows the difference in the class between our club and some other teams that maybe want to do it on a game day. So congratulations to him. But Johnny Hogg was a huge loss. Danny Williams got back to full fitness. This is Phil Billings' time, and he's not that type of player get stuck in, and he does need Hogg or Williams alongside him. But I think that his game was summed up when Town broke with Debutantes. He ran, he got up there and got into the position and put an absolutely atrocious ball in.
It was shocking.
And you got a feel for the lad. And look, you wrote in your piece, didn't you? He's only 21. He still might improve, but
see, I have sympathy for him, but then when you've seen him at Nottingham Forest 2 years ago, lose the ball and just throw his arms up in the air and not try and win it back, you sort of lose a bit of sympathy. And I know he's only a young lad, and he has got a lot of talent. And we have to remember that clubs like Swansea and Tottenham were coming in for him, in the last year. But you just don't get the same intensity, or I don't want to say he doesn't try, because he does try, but you don't see him like Hogg, busting a gut at every moment.
He's a different type of player, though. He's very much a technical player, whereas Hogg is a physical.
He's not technical.
I'm not going to say he's not technical.
He's a still Town player, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's a traditional working class.
Yeah.
Works his backside off with the quality that he has to get the most out of it.
Yeah.
I think for me, right now, because Billing is only 21, is alone the right time for him now. He's probably not quite Premier League quality, but stick him in a Championship club, mid-level Championship club, and see how he goes. If he doesn't improve in the season at a Championship club, is Town really the right place for him?
But you see, I think these sorts of games against City, and I agree with you there, but I think these sort of games against City and Chelsea are better for him, because he can express himself more. I don't think the right game for him is this week against Cardiff.
Yeah, it's not better for Town though, is it, to have a weak link, unfortunately?
No, but I just don't think shoving him in this week against Cardiff, who are going to batter us to hell in physical challenges, is a game for him.
I think he's undoubtedly got talent. It's frustrating. It's one of those classic things. It's frustrating to see that he's got some parts of his game are really good. Like sometimes he'll win the ball sort of effortlessly with ease, and sort of just plough forward with that long stride. It looked like he's a man travelling about 1 mile an hour, but he's actually going about 50. But he's got a shot on him as well, and he can spread the ball. But yeah, on the other side of him, like against Chelsea, for me, 2 of their goals where he's felt not tracking back. Like the first goal, he even you see in the replay, he looks over his shoulder to see Kante bombing forward, and then doesn't track him. And then Kante scores with his shins. And then the third one, I think it was Kongolo has to come across to get the man on the ball, and then that leaves Pedro with a massive gap. You see Billing sort of back there, but he's not bombing back to mark up Pedro. He's just sort of let it sort of happen, which is my frustration with him, that he could, if he had got the right mindset, he could be doing a bit more of a hog and just like really trying to bust a gut and trying to track back and compensate for us.
Not even a hog, but like a very much a deep lying playmaker role, just sitting in front of the back four. But again, that depends on the formation, and you had on Sunday, you had Sabiri playing out of position, you had Stankovic playing out of position, and you had Billing also playing out of position, and they come in for the players who were missing, which was Anker, Moy and Hogg, and I think we have improved in the transfer window, but one thing I don't think we've improved is the depth that much. I think we've improved the depth in some areas, but I think the centre of midfield is one that we could have improved a bit more.
We need Lee Clark back, bringing in 50 midfielders.
Getting
one of them right.
Yeah, but like, they weren't that great. I remember
We want Anton Robinson.
Yes.
What's he doing now?
He's retired. He's not.
Have to play
I found him on. I actually found him on LinkedIn. I think he's a football coach now.
Oh, right, okay.
Wow.
Is that football coaching quotes?
I feel sorry for the kids he's coaching.
You never know.
No, we do know.
Well, they say those that can't teach.
Yeah, exactly. Preach what you've, what you are.
I remember I was getting drunk with Dion Dublin. Very random story, and we were all got Joey Good Johnson saying he had all the quality, but he didn't have the application. So don't want to go back to them days.
But I think
we had young players playing out of position. So as much as we can say, it wasn't great. We didn't flourish. I don't think we gave a true account of ourselves. I think that's the most disappointing thing. But there were players playing out of position and coming back from long-term injury.
Yeah, and I agree with that. But also, it doesn't help on the same day Brighton go and beat Man United 3-1. And I know it's a different game. I know what you're going to say. United were awful.
I think, in all fairness, any team, if they played United on that day, would have beaten United. If United were not, they're not.
But I would not class Brighton as necessarily a lot better than us. And they went and pressed Man United. They pressed Man United. They shoved them into corners they didn't want to be. They dictated play. They didn't let Pogba do his thing. We just sort of said, we had too much respect for City, I think. I think we just thought, look at Sergio Aguero.
To an extent you can say that, but on the flip side of that, you look at the United team, you look at the City team. This is a City team who last week left Leroy Sané, Kevin De Bruyne, Gabriel Jesus on the bench. Yeah. This is the same team this week. De Bruyne's out. Silva comes in. Sané is still on the bench. Riyad Mahrez is on the bench. Aymeric Laporte, who they spent £57 million on, is on the bench. They are, squad-wise, the best team in the league, if not one of the best teams in the world.
Yeah.
And I think we've got to be realistic. The only disappointing thing for me, and we'll come on to this when we do our Twitter corner, is that we could have set up differently. We could have gone for it a bit more. The result, would it have been different? No. But would we have been entertained, and would we have felt better coming out of it?
Performance been
yes, and that's probably the difference between it. But I must admit, the only thing that kept me watching that game was the fact that I had captained Aguero in my fantasy Premier League team, and I bottled triple captain him, and I'm gutted about it. But
you see, I came out of the Chelsea game really impressed. I thought we'd improved.
First 20 minutes were alright. I think United and City are different beasts, aren't they?
Yeah.
The movement City have got to defend against, it's almost impossible. And for me, like Greg was saying, I think we set up completely wrong. For me, it would have been a formation that the players are used to, and they instinctively know what they're doing more, and then they're able to react to different situations City are throwing at them. Whereas I think with that, for the first 10-15 minutes I saw Town player just looking quite confused.
Well, I think what the most strange thing about it is that Wagner had seen the City team and instantly changed our formation. He's a methodical man normally.
Sometimes
he sets up to all week. He works on the same plan to go into the game with, and it must have been his moment of madness because
To put the conspiracy theory hat on, do you reckon he took this game similar to Tottenham last season, where it's an experimental game for him? What would happen if he puts his player in a situation where he changes the formation at the last minute? How did they react? Knowing that 99 times out of 100 you're going to get beat against City. That one time you might get a point.
And I think maybe a problem with that is showing who's the leaders on the pitch, because I do think without Jonathan Hogg,
we've got 3 key players that are all captain-like: Zanka, Hogg, and Moy, who will all step up to the plate in that team. All out of the team. Who's going to step up? I know you've got Schindler in there, but I don't think Schindler's the charismatic leader that Wagner's looking for, because he's quite.
He's more of an example.
Yeah, he's an example to follow from, but he's not the one that's going to basically say, "Guys, come follow me." He's more going to. He'll do it, and we expect people to follow.
I don't think Moy is, but I think Moy leads by what he does on the pitch.
Yeah, they're different leaders in different senses. I think with Johnny Hogg and maybe Tommy Smith, the
Those
traditional, traditional English style leaders.
Yeah.
And there's 2 types of leaders. There's the leaders who will get you going. It's a bit like with management, isn't it? There's the leaders, the motivators. I think Hogg and Smith are the motivators, and you've got the leaders by example, which are Schindler and Moy. You know, and let's not forget Lerver was a captain of his team either. But I must admit, watching David Silva do Pritchard in the first half, sometimes you've just got to sit there and watch good footballs and say to yourself, do you know what? We have got the smallest budget. I'm going to sound very Chris Powell right now. and this is nothing against the no limits mantra, which I think we've kind of forgotten about. I think a friend of mine put on Twitter last year, he put no limits limited, which I think is the perfect way of describing it. But to watch David Silva just do Alex Pritchard, who is a talented young player himself, you just got to sit there and go, this guy's a World Cup winner and a Premier League winner, and he's at the top of his game. And you know what? We are watching one of the best sides I think the Premier League will ever see. And I think
there's ever loads of town fans overreacted and thought, apparently there were a few that I've spoken to that had fans in front of them saying, that's it, we're down already. There's another 36 games to go, You know, we've played Chelsea and City in the first 2 games.
I think there's too many optimistic fans who are declaring that the season starts on Saturday. And that I've never seen a season that starts when you're -8 on goal difference. You know, I know Rotherham had 15 point. Was it a 30-point reduction? I can't remember.
Something like that.
But you know, but that was administration for them.
But no, I thought Congolo, I think it was a challenge on Silva. It was absolutely brilliant.
It's the one area I think we've got quality. Premier League quality. Schindler, Zanka, and Congolo centre back. They look.
They're over at tackling, aren't they? Getting the man, winning the ball back. They're all strong.
City fans, I loved it because it wound up with City fans. Like I think someone like just a little nip on Silva, and then he sort of carried on, and then like Congolo just smashed into him with the ball.
That's the one disappointing thing. There wasn't enough tackles like that. We weren't getting in their faces. We were, like you say, I'm not sure if it's the cliche of we were too respectful or we just didn't want to get in their faces because of tactics that were employed, but. And all the personnel. I think Hamid Sabiri might. We might not see him for a while. Again, he's one who definitely should go out on loan because he came from the 5th division of German football to the 2nd division of German football in a couple of weeks, and then went to the Premier League.
He's not good enough.
Well, you can't say that now. At the minute,
he's young. And he's got quality about him. But
I didn't see him touch the ball.
Get him out on loan. Give him some first team chance. Because I reckon he's one of these players very much about confidence because he's got a bit of an attitude about him. Give him a good run of games, let him get his confidence up, and then you'll start seeing a player that's got the quality about him, the reason why we got him in.
But I think, he was non-existent to be honest on the pitch. And I think as a result maybe Tommy Smith, he had no cover whatsoever to do with Mendy, who time and time again was just absolutely terrorising Tommy Smith, and Tommy Smith, he did his best, but on his own against Mendy, he wasn't stopping
five goals this season out of 2 against Man City have been assisted or scored by Mendy.
He was.
That's how good that player is.
My fantasy teams love it.
He's a great player though. I mean, you look at two of the goals that City scored, you know, instead of taking a touch first time, he just whipped it in straight off.
That Aguero's for his hat trick. What
Yeah,
a great finish. I mean, they all talked about Glenn Murray's goal. I watched the entirety of Super Sunday. They said that was Defoe-esque. Well, that was Aguero-esque, and it was Aguero his very best. I think I can understand why a lot of people were peeved on Sunday, but I think equally we've got to go there and admit when a side are just far too good for you.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that we'll come to very shortly is maybe we could have set up differently. Maybe we could have got in their faces a bit more, been a bit dirtier. Personnel might have been different, but I just see it's going to be City or Liverpool for the league. So let's enjoy it, because
they are going to wipe somebody for 89.
Yeah, I've said it all along. I think if they click, and if the team's in free fall, I think they'll put 10 past someone this season. They are that good, and that's. I know they've got a lot of money. I hope it's not us.
Yeah, the reverse fixture.
I hope it's not us. I really do. I hope it's someone. You know, it'd be funny for United.
Yeah.
But I know they've spent a hell of a lot of money, but you know, Pep Guardiola is a coach who's managed to get good players and make them great. And against Sterling even playing, we've not even mentioned him. They've got an amazing amount of quality, and you know, fair play to them. They're probably going to dominate for the next 3 or 4 years while he's there.
Well, I don't know if any of you have watched the Manchester City documentary.
Yeah.
The only thing worthwhile about it, to be honest, is Pep Guardiola, and that's the only reason I'm watching it. The rest is just sort of boring, sort of corporate dross. But I think Guardiola is genuinely impressive.
Like, for example, I can't remember which episode it's in, but he tells De Bruyne to stay.
De Bruyne. Go on, sorry.
De Bruyne. I did say De Bruyne.
He said De Bruyne. You're alright, mate. Have you had too many drinks already?
De Bruyne. He told De Bruyne to go in a certain position on the pitch, and he said, if you go there, you will score.
Yeah.
And then it came to the second half. De Bruyne was in that position, and he scored. So he's tactical genius,
and he's a stylish individual as well. He's like Paul Tisdale, but a lot classier because he's a bit exotic.
I quite like
A little bit of a tan.
Yeah.
I quite like the fact that when they went to Wigan in the FA Cup, he was not happy about Paul Cook's side kicking 7 bells.
But as Paul Cook said, like, you know,
It's what you're going to do.
What do you expect?
give me that amount of money, then we'll try and play him for football.
Yeah.
Other than that, we'll do whatever we can.
Or eat a hell of a lot of pies.
Yeah.
Oh, have you ever heard of the pasty barn in Wigan?
No.
It's a pie in between a tea cake, as we call it around these parts. They have a pie in a sandwich, basically. It's called a pasty barn, or it's a Wigan kebab. One of the two. They're strange folk in Wigan, but they have a really good beer festival.
I didn't even know Lancashire called sandwiches barns until I went there.
Yeah.
Strange.
I went to Rochdale away once, and then they were like, "Oh, can we have 2 bacon baps?" And I went, "What? You in a barn, love? You in a barn?"
Yeah.
No, just a bap.
I went.
A barn, and he's a bap.
Have you heard of
I went in that fish and chip shop at Rochdale, and they said,
Oh, yeah.
Very nice.
I said, can I have a fish butty with some chips? You want a muffin?
Yeah.
You mean a muffin? No, I don't want a chopped chip muffin. I want a butty.
Yeah.
Don't start with that. We'll have been having that debate for ages.
Yeah.
All we said
It's
is,
on Twitter.
Yeah.
But to be
Twitter
fair,
corner.
everyone's seen it already. There's somebody had a poll about it. Apparently, in West Yorkshire, they're the only place that says tea cake, and I've grown up with it being a tea cake.
A tea
and
cake, yeah.
apparently, I'm an idiot.
No, I don't think you have a
Southerners.
tea with cake.
Anyway, speaking of John Goran Stankovic, we had a question here from Jack Boothroyd. Thank you, Jack. Is there a future for him, and what's his long-term future with Town, basically? I think there's a future for him.
Definitely for
I think
me.
he's- I think he's classy.
He's an incredibly young footballer, and there was obviously when he came across, when we first got him in, players like Chris Lerver were amazed the fact that we'd actually managed to get him from Borussia Dortmund. That shows how much of a potential this lad has got. I think, obviously, in at the Championship level, he struggled to start with, obviously, that nightmare at Wigan.
Physical, isn't it? It's about the physicality of the league.
And this is the thing that Reading at home last Championship season.
Yeah.
That game for me was the game that you saw what Stankovic can do. Some of the balls he playing out from defence were incredible. There was a ball over the top where Palmer ran onto it.
Yeah.
And if Palmer was a bit more bit cleverer, he would have scored straight from that. And it was just a ball over the top, but it was so beautifully played.
Yeah.
That's the skill he's got.
Norwich away. I mean,
Yeah.
he was the best player on the pitch.
By a mile.
You know, some of the, like I said, the long balls, his vision on the pitch is excellent. Like I said, he could be a bit quicker, but he's our version of Murray Wallace.
I think his
Slightly
speed's
better.
not an issue, because if you look at Schindler's not fast.
No, he's not.
He knows how to read a game very well. He knows
He's
when
a
to
Maldini
run.
sort of player,
Yeah,
isn't
and I
it?
think Stankovic in a few years' time, will, especially as an understudy Schindler, will be just as good, if not better than Schindler.
Long term as well. He's had a year out. You can't
Yeah.
forget
Yeah.
that. And
Yeah.
he'll get. I hope he gets his chance next week against Stoke, and he gets games throughout the season.
I actually thought, when I saw him on the team sheet, I thought, what are you doing putting him in this game? This is not a game for him.
Oh, yeah.
But he scored, so I'm going to say I'm completely wrong on that one.
But no, he's very highly rated as well. Before he came to us, there was a lot of questions like pretty much how have Huddersfield managed to get him, basically. So that tells me.
Well,
The factor.
in Wagner's first ever fans meeting at the Millbridge Club, it was asked, "Are we looking for anybody from Dortmund?" And he said, "Oh, there is a young lad." He said, "I can't tell you his name, but it was Stankovic, because lo and behold, 6 months later, who arrives at the club?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, exactly. He knows his youngsters. That. Oh yeah, don't take it like that. But let's, Dortmund's second team. He's brought players through. He can pick a player. I mean, we criticised. Well, I say criticised. We debated him getting rid of Jordan Williams, but we will trust him because look where we are compared with where we were. He's a fantastic coach.
I was going to say, if we'd stayed in the Championship, getting rid of Williams would have been a really odd decision. But I think, is Williams going to get up to speed at Premier League level?
He's not
in
going
the
to.
time? No.
So we'll see with that. But for Jack's question, yes, we all think that Stankovic has got a future.
definitely.
He'll struggle to get in the team. Maybe January get a loan, but no doubt in my mind. Whatever happens with Town, if Town stay up again or if Town go down, next season I think it'll be a big season for him.
He's just a replace. If we ever sell Schindler, he's the perfect replacement to come in at.
Yeah. See, I'd like to keep Schindler a little bit longer so Stankovic can be his understudy and take all the knowledge he
I want
needs from.
Schindler to retire here.
Yeah.
But
I think we all do.
that
I've got a shrine to that.
Yeah, we've
man.
got a shrine.
Yeah. Did you see that picture of him before City? What a beautiful.
I once had the privilege of Rochdale away. He was in the crowd.
It was a
I had the
real.
privilege of dancing around him. And
Him and his girlfriend got caught in the crowd of
He
everyone.
wasn't far from me. I didn't realise because Hef celebrated right in front of us when he scored, and he was just a little bit on from us.
Yeah.
I only knew where he was because my mate was wearing the most garish. Sorry, Mr. Fashionista. Yellow ski jacket, and we're watching the highlights, and it's just like, mate, I can actually see where we're sat because of you. Oh, he's such
Well, like
a
you
beautiful man.
said, everyone dancing around outside. It was really weird because everyone had
Really
been buying
big,
chips
yeah.
by the chip van and going up and offering him chips. He's like, no, he's on a diet. He's on a very specific diet. Please don't ruin it.
Quinoa and salmon.
Christopher, would you like some
Bits.
greasy chips? Yeah, some scraps here.
Salt over everything. Would you like some?
Do you like vinegar?
Welcome to the Yorkshire Night.
Bit of ketchup on that, Christopher.
No, what a man. Anyway, we'll leave Manchester City. Item 2 on the agenda is Twitter Corner. And it also fits in with Man City, and we've kind of touched on it already. Our question was, in the Premier League, Town have taken just 5 points from a possible 42 against top 6 sides. Does David Varga need to reassess how we set up against those sides? The options were, yes, be more brave. No, remember Spurs, and only against some sides. 57% went with be more brave, and 30% went for against some sides, and only 30% remember Spurs. I come on against the only against some sides place, and I wish we had gone 4-2-3-1 against Man City. So what I'm gonna do is kind of jink that question a bit. Is five at the back? I know obviously we changed it very last minute, but is 5 at the back redundant? Because we saw against Chelsea the space between the lines, and we saw against City set up negatively. It just invites pressure, and we were very fortunate last season to play City when they were celebrating. We've not really created anything from it really. should we go back to that 4-2-3-1 or 4-5-1 against Man United at home last season, even Man City at home last season, where we seem to stifle and at least create chances?
I think the 4-5-1 for me is the way to go. You saw, like you said, last season, that was the one that was getting us the results, even if it wasn't a fantastic performance. I mean, like City, for example, we're talking, what was it, 21% possession in the entire match. For me, against teams like that, that doesn't matter to me, because we know we're going to get outplayed in some manner. Especially against City, you're going to get outplayed in possession by a long way. So it's our job there, if we want to get something from those games, is to basically ditch our kind of tactics of expressive play and play the team that's in front of us, not play the game we're playing, because the game we play will not get us anything. That's, for me, that 4-5-1 showed that we've got a great ability to stifle play and to basically frustrate the opposition. If you can frustrate the opposition, you can easily find a way past them.
In the Championship, we had two formations. We had the 4-2-3-1 and the defensive block.
Yeah.
And we saw that last season. I think Man United at home was the defensive block.
Yeah.
He's kind of thrown that out the window, and I'm not sure the five at the back work unless you have attacking fullbacks.
Yeah, I think the Man United at home, that for me, that should be the model that sort of suits us, because it allows you to, all of a sudden, you can press quite quickly, which we saw, I think, with the first goal we scored against United came from us, like, very quickly, just pressing one match on the ball, and then just all of a sudden, like, about 4 people just running into their half. So I think for us that suits us, and I think because it's not too dissimilar to sort of the high pressing line that we played, just more in our own half. It's sort of gegenpressing, which is when they sort of getting back into a sort of a concrete structure and then sort of pressing from there. So I think that would suit us more rather than sort of what we started doing with the wing backs, which we're starting to look more comfortable than we were. I mean, in the Championship, when we tried playing that, we always seemed to look a bit lost, and the players looked like to think a lot about what they were doing. It wasn't very natural. So I think, to be honest, whenever I look at town teams in the bag now, they're not very adaptable. Like, I think the 4-2-3-1 formation sort of suits and they can play instinctively, but it seems to take a while for our players to be able to be comfortable with new formations. So for me, I really would be trying to keep it as simple as possible. So even if we are gonna either defend or attack, it needs to be sort of a formation that the players are sort of comfortable with. For me, that's the more important thing.
The 4-5-1 formation, I think, works because with a 5 in midfield, you've got two options. You can play that. You can instantly go to 3 up at the top, or you can, the wide men can sit back. And I also think it floods the midfield, where with a 5 at the back, you don't flood the midfield, and you instantly sit back more because you've got more people at the back.
The wing backs get pegged in.
Exactly. Where if you've got 5 in midfield, at least the block isn't already starting at the back point.
I think that the 4-2-3-1 and the 4-5-1 are basically the same formation, just depending on how attacking you are.
If you play a proper number 10, which would be Pritchard or Sobby, or if you go like we did with against United with Aaron Moy, and Aaron Moy can sit back then. So it's personnel. I think it's huge, and it's one thing that probably we didn't have against City this time. Or even Chelsea, because Danny Williams is still coming back from his injury. We probably quite have the personnel, but I think that's the way to go. It has to be, because you can't keep. At the end of last season, we were trying to get points for the sole reason of staying. We actually didn't need any points in the end, but against City and Chelsea, because thank God Swansea were diabolical. And I don't know how Mark Hughes has managed to get points as being the manager that he is. I'll just blame the referee. It's always a referee's fault. No, you're not very good, Mark.
You can guarantee when
next
time he gets sacked, it's a referee's fault.
Oh yeah, always.
Yeah, but that's the same with Warnock. We're coming up against
it works if you're saving your arse off to get that point. If you're doing anything to get a point, it works. We saw against Chelsea, like Jonas Lörsel save, the blocks that went in. I mean, you see it was different because we they didn't create any. 4 chances, I think, or 4 shots on target. Because they were at the intensity that they can play at, and we were at the intensity we can play at. It was a completely different. It was a mismatch. You know, we were safe already. Well, we were practically safe. I think a lot was riding on that Arsenal match, and we were focusing on that. But City were too bothered about partying and.
Well, that's why it's
everything.
different to this time around, because
Early in the season,
they're in a different headspace. You know, they've got different priorities.
City wanted to absolutely beat what they did last season. Chelsea have got a new manager. You know, they were there for the taking defensively, but offensively they've got amazing players. It's a completely different playing them in April and May to playing them in August. And damn the Premier League for fixture gods. The last 5 games we've played, you know, City, Chelsea twice, and Arsenal. Could have been nicer, couldn't they? But
no, they hate us.
one thing I'm going to pick up, Luke, Huddersfield Luke, as he's called on Twitter, said to us about the approach in itself of playing 5 at the back and defensively is okay, but when we go down we don't know what to do, and that's one thing I want to pick up on. And throwing Lauren de Poitre on the last 2 games, going Mike Bassett 4-4-2  2 big men up with not a lot of pace, it's not worked, and that's the one thing for me. I'd much rather see Mbenza, who can play up top and has played up top for Montpellier, or Van La Parra, despite his lack of end product, his skill is amazing. Or even Diakabi, you know, a bit of pacing behind, and that's I think one thing we did really lack on Sunday.
So
Diakabi looked good actually when he came on. I thought in fact there was one move where he played quite an intelligent ball behind City's back line. It just wasn't really quickly enough, but I was actually impressed by him, and he was lightning quick.
Giving the Mike Bassett quotation, wonder if Christoph Boulos sold David Wagner an Opel. Only people who've watched that film will know what I'm on about. But
3 cheers for Ramirez.
Ramirez, but Deo, going back to Diakabi, he was good in the Lyon game. He was effective enough in the Chelsea game.
Lovely goal against Leipzig.
I think he's going to be a creative force. And looking forward to the Cardiff game, I'd love to just see Mbenza on one wing, Diakabi on the other, and just go for it. Just get balls into the box, because we know you put a ball into the box, Steve Mounier's got a really good chance of scoring. And I think the problem is that he's chucked Laurent de Poitre on to just just look like that we're properly going for it, because we've got 2 strikers on the pitch.
Whenever I've seen the Poitre come on with Mounier, it's never worked. We went Everton away, we needed a goal, didn't work, because we missed the goal. We need the number 10 role basically to link it all up.
Well, you look at the in the Chelsea game, take Pritchard off, and you've lost that link.
And he's pretty much the only number 10 I can remember having for a long time.
Well, Sabir is a number 10, isn't he?
Sobby can play there as well. I think that'll be Sobby's position, because he's got the skill, he's got the ability, just doesn't have the pace for the Premier League.
We've actually got 3 number 10s, where last season we were shoving Tom into the
I think for me Sabir is not ready yet.
He really
for me we've got Pritchard the proven number 10, then if Sobby can sort of make the adjustment, then we've got a bit of depth, haven't we? I think we're massively missing Hogan Williams, which is
you need somebody to be dirty.
Exactly.
Because I think Billy to replace Moy works. But you need a dirty, horrible.
Someone to break up players.
Shame Dean Whitehead had to retire.
him and his day, I think. But Johnny Hogg all day long. Should have gone to Moscow, really. But live and learn. Getting back to your comments, Nonsense HFC says basically 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3, 4-5-1. It gives you attacking options. We saw it last season with Ince going forward and Ince is left. But again, that United game, you had 2 proper wingers getting forward. We'd like to see that this week. Boogaloo Nick, it just reminds me of The Office, that cold open. If you don't watch The Office,
I've never watched it.
There's a YouTube video. You need to do it. It's really good. It's fantastic. I'm not going to sing the song. We might get done for copyright. Nick says, I'd rather attack the buggers and lose 4-0 than park the bus and get stuffed anyway like against City. Thank you very much, Nick. Tony B, Baggy Penguin on Twitter, more bravery needed. Playing wing backs as wingers, for example, when I feel we need pacey attacking minded wingers to aid Mounier. I think that's what everyone's saying. I just think we need. I'm not going to criticise him, right? Because playing Football Manager and being a real life football manager is completely different. I mean, I could advise David on Wonder Kids You know, I can. Dennis Mann, he's a Romanian player. Sign him up. He's fantastic on my football. Pione Sister, Sanka's teammate from Denmark. Get him. You shouldn't bother Diakavi. Get him in. I know they might charge a bit more at Real San Sebastian or Celta Vigo, wherever he is now. But
we can't say Wagner's ever been a manager yet until he's taken Brentford Park Avenue to the Champions League.
Exactly. I took Darlington top of Premier League, spending $8,500 on players, and that player was Ian Craney. That was a mistake.
There we go.
Didn't go anywhere. John Lamb says he and the team are learning against City. If you got your second string out, there's nothing you can do. No ifs, no buts, no maybes, nothing. I don't agree with that.
Not really a second string team.
It's
yes,
not.
missing 3 key players, but it's not a second string team.
No, it's not a second string
Well,
team.
it's forced as well. Like when we have to make changes.
According to Wagner, we don't have a second string. It's all one team.
He said that in the Championship when he and then played the second string against Birmingham. I was there.
I really I understand where he's coming from. I think he's probably picking up the fact, especially in midfield, you're missing your 2 best players, but it's not a second string. No, they've got enough experience. Billings got enough experience playing last season. I think the one key cog in that machine is probably Williams is missing, and if he was fit, he'd have played, and he would have been that difference that probably would have made it 4-1 instead of 6-1.
He would have been the replacement for Hogg and Billing for Moore. You would have had those 2 natural replacements, but because basically Williams wasn't available, you end up with a makeshift midfield that really didn't, probably never actually played together even in training. So it was
without those 2, Hogg or Williams, we're just not the same team. Even you saw in the Championship when we didn't have Hogg playing, we struggled.
There's no
and that's why when he went off for Bristol City, everyone was saying like, I thought in my heart of hearts, I thought right, that's the promotion season just gone. No Hogg, no party.
Well, the man's a machine and came back. Thank God.
Yeah, he is, isn't he?
A Terminator.
He is a man. He's a true man. I'll try and finish off for everyone that came in. Dan Burrows says the squad's still way off the required standard in the league. I think it's not a dig, but we're playing with the cards that we've got. We heard David Wagner said we were shopping a different market to everyone because it's mainly wages. I think we've got the money to bring in players, but the wage structures are completely different. And I'd agree with that. But I've liked our transfer dealings because we brought in. Look at Sobby. We've effectively made £6 million profit on Sobby for Ince. And we've got an international who's got a point to prove. He's still young. He's 22.
22,
He's got a lot more to prove than Tom Ince. We've signed young players who can develop, possibly sell on for a future fee. It's the only way we're going to succeed. I don't think you'll ever see us signing a 28-year-old on £100,000 a week, even if we stay in the Premier League for 5 or 6 years. It's unfortunately the economics of scale, and we don't have a big billionaire with us. Thank you very much, Dan. I'll leave the final point to Dan Fowler, friend of Thrice Champions, may I add. He wrote a really good article about the stadium a couple of years ago. He says the issues are mainly due to disjointed lines and a lack of pressure through speed. I think that's what we've been saying already.
Basically,
I think if we'd gone with 2 up front, he shouldn't have brought Depoitre on. He should have started Depoitre anyway, but playing Benz or somebody who can get him behind and cause them problems, because they had Stones, Otamendi and company playing. None of them are rapid. So you can cause problems. And they didn't have Kyle Walker playing. That's another player that we didn't even mention that didn't have playing. And he went 3-5.
He was that amazing that he one day that he didn't even know he wasn't playing. That's how good their team is.
Quick one. Against top 6 sides, Depoitre or Mounier, who would you go with?
Depoitre.
I think that's 4th and 4. I love Steve Mounier. I think he's fantastic. You saw his qualities last season against sides like Palace and Brighton, etc. Depoitre, when he came on, did make a nuisance of himself.
Because he can hold the ball up. That's what you need when you're playing a team like City. If you're on a midfield and exactly. But if you're like a midfielder or defender and that you got all these, someone pressurising you, to be able to just play it up to Depoitre with his back to their defence and just play it to his feet, and he can keep hold of it. It's just a great outlet. Whereas with Mounier, you're aiming for his head because that's how he can win the ball. But then, if you slightly overkick or underhit that, then you've lost possession. Whereas playing to Depoitre's feet, it's just a way for us to retain possession, quite simply.
I think the 2 different types of attackers. Mounier is a point man. if you're in attack, if you're playing against a weaker team or a team around you, you play Mooney because you're going to be whipping balls in. You put a good ball into that box, he's going to get his head on it, he's going to get a shot on goal. And based on his shot record, more than not, it's going to go in. You know, the Pocher, if he needs someone to run the front line and run mercilessly, you put that man on because he will run through brick walls to get to a ball. That's the kind of player he is. So really, like I said, against the top six where you're going to be very defensive, you want someone who will basically chase down the defence and at least give you an option.
Well, we'll leave City behind us and we'll look ahead to Cardiff. Amazingly, David Wagner's never beaten Neil Warnock as manager. And to all them people who say the season starts here, I suppose in a way it does. But I suggest they're trying to roll something in glitter. Of what's been a very, very difficult start, which again, Premier League fixture gods, the horrible people that they are. They've done all right so far, Cardiff. They've got a decent point against Newcastle. We kind of know it's a Neil Warnock side. You know how they're going to be. They're going to be hard to break down. A lot of old town players in that team: Lee Peltier, Pilkins, Sean Morrison,
Danny Ward. Shockingly, Alex Lewis can't get ahead of Neil Everidge.
I saw Neil Everidge in League One. I think he was on loan in League One. He was terrible.
Rotherham or something like that.
I can't believe they haven't put Smithies in front of him. But you know, he saved a penalty. So there's 5 ex-town players in there and an ex-town manager. So much pressure on this game. We have to win. I think we have to.
I think you look at the Cardiff side and you can tell it's a Championship side that have just come up. I mean, they've got Mendes Lang that is playing for them, and he played against us for Peterborough in the League One final. Like you said, we know what we're going to get from Warnock, so there should be no surprises really. And it's just a case of battling away really, and if it's going to be a scrappy 1-0 win, it needs to be a scrappy 1-0 win, but I'd like us to go out there and really dominate them and show that, look, we're not just here to muck about, you know, we're being serious. You know, we're going to teach you a lesson. This is how hard it's going to be for you in the Premier League. And I think against Newcastle, I don't know if any of you saw it, it was such a terrible game. I mean, Newcastle created nothing, and neither did Cardiff. They didn't even create one chance against Bournemouth in their first game. So their attacking powers are very, very limited. And I think that's where we can dominate it, particularly if we use the high press on them. They just won't like it.
Especially if we play wingers. I'd love to see Mbenza, Diakabi get involved in that game. I think the pace that they have, again, I'm watching YouTube videos online, or in Diakabi's case, his performances in pre-season, but they've got something about them.
He looked good against City, Diakabi. I was quite impressed, to be honest. But I think for me, the most important thing is the performance. We need to go there, like I say, play high press, high tempo, as we do best. You know, talking Brighton 3-1 in the Championship, that's the performance we need sort of in our home games against teams like Cardiff. Sort of moving the ball quickly, don't give them a chance to set up the defensive formation. That's what I want us to see. You know, I'm not, to be honest, if we play really, really well and get a draw, I'll be right with it, because I know at least we're showing that we can still do that at this level. But I think we just need to start. I don't want us to put too much pressure on this game, basically, because I think we've still got, still got the entire season to go.
I don't think we can afford to draw it.
Well, 3 games in, of course we can, but I think it's for me it's about starting to get the performances right now. We've had 2 games that we're going to have to write off.
I think we've got a good run of games coming up as well.
Yeah, we have. Well, like last
we need
season,
to get in our flow.
But like last season, you could tell that West Brom were going to be definitely down there and probably lower than us. Hopefully they were. Stoke was another one. Southampton could have been another one, which they eventually were. And Swansea and Palace. This time, there isn't 3 teams. There's Cardiff. And that's it.
No, there's about half the division. There's more than half the division that's going to be relegation scrap. No, I'd say there's about 12 teams of about similar level in the Premier League at the moment. I'd say we're sort of just about clinging on to them. I'd say that there's not much difference outside the top 6.
I think this season is very, very different to last season. I think
it's different, but
there's less.
I'd say there's less of a difference between us and the non-top 6 Premier League teams than for Cardiff. I think they are probably the easiest. This is probably going to be the easiest fixture on paper we're going to have this season.
Yeah,
But for me, I think it's more about just getting in a flow, and I think it's dangerous to put too much pressure on a game like this, because that's exactly the time when Town lose 3-0 at home. So, yeah.
That's probably exactly what Neil Warnock wants, because that's the way he plays, the style he plays as a manager. He'll go in hard, all the pressure's on them. We've got a point already. They've got really bad goal difference. The best thing is performance right now. Although I think 3 points would alleviate a lot of people's fears, and it'd be a good kick up the backside to the people who just already think we're down. Not forgetting that we've played the same two teams at Chelsea, same two teams that Arsenal have, and we've got the exact same amount of points, despite them spending hell of a lot more money than we have in the transfer window.
For me, with Cardiff, as I think we've all said, easiest one on paper. If you look at Cardiff's transfers this season, they've not even brought any quality in. And the team they had before, yes, a very good Championship side, but there's a big difference between the Championship and the bottom of the Premier League. So it's like they've not even improved, but it's a Neil Warnock side. They're going to be drilled to play a very particular game, and I think we've said it before, performance. But with me, I think if the performance is there, the result comes with it against a team like this, because the performance is going to be a high pressing game, and it might be a scrappy 1-0 win because with 20 shots on target with only one goal, but a win's a win, gets points on the board, settles the fans, settles the player, settles the manager, and we've got a good chance to go forward with that then.
I think it's either going to be like a Swansea at home last season where we just get frustrated, or like a Bournemouth where just everything sort of goes away. It's going to be one of the two.
If it is like Swansea at home, do you reckon you're going to see Neil Warnock celebrate like Carvajal did?
Probably, yeah. More so.
I mean, hindsight's a wonderful thing, but he did look like a right moron doing that after what happened to the club. Prediction time. Come on, Mystic Meg. What are you thinking?
I think if we're on it, 3-1 to Town. I think if we're not on it, 3-0 to Cardiff. It's literally that black and white. But I will 3-1 for a win.
Positive. What are you thinking, James?
I'm going quite positive and go for a 3-0 victory for 10.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's our time.
I'm going to rein everyone in with a 1-all draw.
I think it's going to be tight. I'm going to go 1-0 Town. I think it's one of them. I feel much more confident against Bournemouth at home than I would against Cardiff. Just because I think Bournemouth play a style of football that we can exploit. And as we did at home last season, away, that's we've got rid of Scott Malone. I know you always criticise him for slagging him off, but
he was terrible.
In all fairness, he's not done any better at Derby.
So I'm not being a harsh person, but I think it's just I'm not harsh. I'm just realistic.
If you want to be really harsh, I mean, you can be as bad as what I've been for the last 7 years, saying how rubbish Anton Robinson is. There we go.
Well, you're not alone, to be fair.
Yeah, I'm not alone.
But leave the man to rest in whatever he's doing now.
I think you can say rest in peace.
I think to come back to the match, I think the first 10 minutes are crucial in this game. If we get off on the wrong foot, it sets the tempo for the rest of the game, and it could end up being, like I say, a tie or a very tight game. If we get off on the right foot and an early goal, who knows what the scoreline could be.
It comes back to that thing with Town, doesn't it? Time in the Premier League, going behind, have only ever taken 1 point of Southampton away. Somebody put that on our mentions on Twitter. I put my phone away, so I can't remember who it was. I'm very sorry, but
to be honest,
we're running out of time.
In the Championship, we weren't that much better. To be honest, there are very few occasions when we sort of come from behind to win a game.
Forest at home where we did that.
Rotherham away.
Rotherham away.
Tommy Smith.
Perfect Valentine's Day.
I think twice did we go behind in that as well and came back.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, and then the last second
half volley.
One of my best memories of an away game. That Tommy Smith.
Great celebration.
I went from
as well.
one side of the stand to the other in celebration.
Done that before, but that was usually at Wembley. So we're all going three for a win, 1 for a draw. It won't be a bad draw though, to be honest, because we do need a little bit of positivity about it.
A point on the board is important.
I'll always bring us back down to earth.
Definitely. I think that'll be it for this week,
Yeah.
gentlemen. It's been an hour, according to your recording device.
My phone, yeah.
And I sucked my pint a long time ago. A little reminder, get down to the Sportsman before
Yes,
the game on Saturday.
definitely.
fun sponge. I do recommend it.
Fun sponge.
Or if you're a bit boring, go for Amstel.
Yeah.
If you're a lager drinker,
Yeah.
you know, I bet you love a lager top, don't you?
I do, yeah.
Shandy drinker that you are.
I think
you're Southern.
No, I don't think I make a good.
Is
song.
Carling not on or something like that?
I am a cause-like person normally. Do we just want to, before we round off, just say that this is the official merger?
Yeah, go on.
So basically, as all of our previous listeners would have been aware, we were originally the WM podcast, and myself, Al, Paul and Sean, who couldn't unfortunately be here tonight. But now we're merging with the Thrice Champions, which also I was on, and we're going to be a superpower for the next however long. So it's going to be exciting times.
Until we go all Oasis and all fall out.
Yeah. Can I be Noel Gallagher?
No. No, you can be...
Can I be Liam Gallagher?
No. You can be the drummer.
Thanks very much.
Anyway, gentlemen, thank you very much for wasting your time this evening. I'm sure you've had nothing better to do.
Well,
yeah.
I actually didn't.
We could have been watching Championship football
Yeah.
on a Tuesday night, but there's a lot more better things to do than that. I've been Graham Marah, Stephen Downs.
Thank you.
Have you got any words to say? Any positive words for Saturday?
Win.
Win. Well, Paul, anything better than win?
Double win.
Double win.
Yes.
try not to draw.
Pessimistic Yorkshiremen, that's what we are. Thank you very much for listening. We'll be on all the socials and Proper Sport as well. Check us out on that. Enjoy your week, enjoy your bank holiday. Goodbye.